more days. In 8 days, we'll finally see Mortal Kombat 1's gameplay in action, and more in particular, how this entirely new mechanic being dubbed the Cameo fighter system is going to play. And initially, I can't lie to you guys, I was a bit anxious, overwhelmed, but the more time I've had to sit and kind of accept that this is going to be how the game's going to run, I'm not as nervous as I was. I've kind of gotten more excited to the idea of having a Mortal Kombat game that's not necessarily focused on 1v1s, but like channeling its inner Marvel versus Capcom. Hey, what's up? It's your boy Dynasty, and today I'll be shooting from the hip. This is a freestyle. I don't know where this is going, but I figured that because we're only 8 days away from seeing the grand reveal of Mortal Kombat 1, I might as well give you guys my honest thoughts and opinions on the situation, the gameplay. Obviously, if you tune into my streams, I talk about this ad nauseum, but I wanted something for, I guess, the record, so I could come back after seeing the gameplay and kind of be like, oh, I was nervous? Why was I nervous? This is amazing. And, you know, I've been asked all the time, what are your thoughts on the Cameo system? And I figured it only made sense to sit down and finally do a discussion, especially before the gameplay trailer drops in 8 days. So I don't know how long this video is going to go. I have nothing written down and planned. I'm going to be honest with you guys. My honest thoughts on MK1's Cameo fighters based on what we know right now. My expectations, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between. Now, obviously, with every new NetherRealm Studios game, we get massive changes to the game's gameplay. From MK9 to Mortal Kombat 11, safe to say, every single game plays completely different. It's not like Injustice 1 to Injustice 2 where it was essentially legacied. There's always these big dynamic changes to the game's core gameplay, and it's safe to say that that's gonna happen with Mortal Kombat 1, aka Mortal Kombat 12. Now, I'm seeing some people still think that Cameo Fighters is gonna be some type of separate game mode from the core gameplay of the game, and I don't understand why people can't accept that. Though there'll probably be like a side mode where you can toggle on and off Cameo Fighters, you're going to be expected for Mortal Kombat 1 to primarily use more than one character. Again, it kind of seems like that's literally the core part of this game's gameplay. So I know we're so used to this 1v1 stuff. Obviously, Mortal Kombat 9, you had tag team mode, but we've never had a game that was Mortal Kombat, obviously, but focused on having assist characters hopping in and out of battle. Now, the closest thing we've had to this as of late was Mortal Kombat 11's Living Towers and attaching consumables. You guys do know you can do something like move your analog stick in circles, and Noob Saibot will appear and throw your opponent into a dark portal, or Frost will appear and do an ice ball, or Sub-Zero, or Scorpion will appear and do a spear. Like, that's the best thing we've gotten in terms of what to expect for Cameo fighters now. Me personally, like I mentioned, I've been pretty anxious about this idea because I'm a big baby and I like what I like, and when I think of Mortal Kombat, I think of what we've become accustomed to, our standard 1v1 system. I don't think of this Marvel versus Capcom assist fighter where you're gonna have fighters jumping in and out. But I can definitely see where that's going to fix all the problems I had with Mortal Kombat 11. I didn't really enjoy Mortal Kombat 11 as much as I could have enjoyed it, just because MK11 was just much slower and wasn't necessarily a game that allowed you to be too rush down heavy. There was definitely a lot less combo potential. Where are the armored launchers? For instance, MKX. Do I think we're going to get a run button back? I don't know. We don't necessarily need one. Dashing is faster these days, but the positive to this is obviously more combo potential, more strings, more brokenness. And for me, that's kind of been the reason why I enjoyed Mortal Kombat X so much, Mortal Kombat 9 so much. Those Cyrax resets back in the MK9 days, I hated it, but at the same time, I loved it. I loved it so much. It's so much better than the entire rock, paper, scissors, MK11 gameplay with the defense bar and the breakaway system. I could rant all day about how much I don't like MK11, so as nerve-wracking as it is to get this entirely new mechanic being introduced, an entirely new assist fighter, I shouldn't really be that nervous, should I? I don't know. It's, I think, healthy to be a bit anxious, but at the same time, seeing the likes of Ed Boon come out and mention how, you know, just today I saw Super was like, we're 8 days away, and he mentioned in particular the Cameo system, and Boon was like, it's fire. Going back to when he announced that the trailer would be dropping at Summer Game Fest, Jeff Keighley came out and was like, similar reaction when he gave me a preview. He's like, it's even better now. Can't wait. Everybody at NetherRealm Studios seems to be really happy with how they've figured this out. I think Dominic Seal even mentioned that a lot of work went into making Boon's goals for this game come true. I'm not sure if that's in particular to the actual gameplay mechanic of Cameo fighters or in general, but I mean, it kind of just falls into play with that too. Everyone's excited to show us this. Boon's confirmed this is the most time they've ever had to work on a modern Mortal Kombat game. So, as quote-unquote scary as it is, as overwhelming as it is, I think it's going to have far more good than bad. I don't think, if you're like me and more of a casual, not really a diehard esports guy who's trying to win EVO, I don't think it'll be that complicated. Now, the cool thing about this is, you know, obviously, we were talking about this a couple days ago. You can't fit every Mortal Kombat character in like a 25, 30 character roster. So because of cameos, we'll finally get to see the likes of these crazy, you know, outcasted 3D era characters get some shine again through the Cameo system. You know, that's a good thing. I'd rather have a Cameo character make an appearance than never see Draman again, or Moloch again, or Ashra again, or Raiko again. You know what I mean? So, again, bittersweet for them not to be a full-fledged character, but at the same time, the appearance is exciting. It's super exciting because it's to the point where we now know there's even going to be DLC packs dedicated to unlocking more Cameo fighters, more assists, more combo potential. And if you're like me and a character loyalist, you guys know typically I stick to my main man, Sub-Zero, and let's be real, you can give me a million abilities to add to my movesets. The character is going to play the same, essentially, for the most part. This Cameo system will allow me to spice things up and maybe let me unlock even more potential in my mastered quote-unquote character mains like a Sub-Zero. So I can kind of see where this is going to have a lot of good. Like I mentioned, we're going to talk about the ugly side to this. Obviously, I can definitely see where there's probably going to be like that one Cameo fighter assist that's just super annoying and broken, but thankfully, like, characters on a roster, you're going to have like variations of different abilities that every Cameo character brings to the fight. For instance, one will probably be more defensive than others. One will probably be more offensive than others. One will probably give you like a meter boost. One will probably give you like a health increase. One will probably give you like a speed increase. Obviously, it's going to be like a card game, like a fighting game. Pick and choose your poison. You're going to have counter picks back and forth. So there's just so much depth that is going to be unlocked having more than one fighter on the table. It's exciting. Now, I guess the biggest fear for me is seeing the likes of maybe like a Striker or like a Cassie Cage where they can just assist and hop in and shoot a bazooka across the stage and, you know, spam their guns and just zone you out, or drop a missile from the sky and you can never just make way and get across the screen. I can see that, but at the same time, there's probably going to be a counter pick to that. So as long as it's not unbalanced going one way and it's completely broken with options and, you know, variety, I think that's better than what we got with Mortal Kombat 11, because you guys do know, despite being a slower paced, more basic bare bones game, MK11 did have a balance issue. Everybody uses the same 3, 4, 5 characters. It's always Jade, Sub-Zero, Cetrion, Jackie, etc. So I'm hoping this allows everybody to have like their own broken mess, because again, going back to what I mentioned, when I think of Mortal Kombat, I think of broken and unbalanced, and more importantly, fun. There's a reason why for the longest time in the FGC, nobody really respected NetherRealm Studios games when it came to like competitive play, just because they were too broken and unbalanced. But at the same time, I feel like that's what made these older games so memorable and fun, and why I became a fan of the recent games, to the point where I played thousands of matches online. I can't say that for MK11. MK11 is like brain stew. It's rock, paper, scissors. I know what I get every time I turn it on. I get brain dead Scorpion players, etc., etc., etc. the positives. Just think about all the different Cameo characters pulling off tagged in brutality finishes. That's gonna be sick. We still don't know how these assist characters, these cameos, will even, come into play in terms of like fatal blows, X-rays. We don't know what that even means for the game's core gameplay too. Are super moves gonna be added to this to begin with? We don't know. So at the core of things, the best way to describe this is essentially it's special moves that can be applied to every character via an assist. That is like the layman's terms of Cameo fighters, and I don't think that's really a bad thing because I'd rather have this than custom variations where I have to pick an additional move and I can do this one move now. Like, no. I at least like this, I feel like there's just so much more potential, so much more depth. Again, I understand that might not be what you want to see. You might not want a broken game. You might want this to be as slow as ever, as balanced as ever, but guys, I feel like making a balanced fighting game in 2023 is damn near impossible. So maybe we can just have some fun, and maybe we can just have more options, and if everyone's broken, the game really isn't broken. It's just the game. It's Mortal Kombat at its core. So those are my thoughts when it comes to Cameo fighters in MK1. I am still a bit anxious and nervous to see how it gets pulled off, but again, they've probably figured it out. I'm not expecting this to be a clear-cut solution to every problem I had with Mortal Kombat 11, but if they can just take MK11, give us some more launchers, take away the stupid defense bar and breakaway system, and just give us, the ability to hop in, have somebody else change the gameplay just a bit to give you that added potential to do some more moves, for the game to be a bit more fast-paced, I think that's a good thing. And again, it's going to have the inclusion of characters you've probably never seen in a long time either. There's, way too much good than bad, I'd say. So if you're like me, you're a bit overwhelmed and nervous at the idea of having to learn a core character plus potentially Cameo fighters, trust me, you're not alone. But this is NetherRealm Studios. They are kings at what they do. And I do think they're going to make it where everybody can pick this game up and have a chance. And I do think that is what, Mortal Kombat 11 was missing. I think that things are just so unmatched sometimes in MK11. It's not fun to play. Again, it's rock, paper, scissors, brain stew. You know what you get every time. And at least like this, you're opening up Pandora's box to unlimited potential. Give it a few weeks. Give it a few days post-launch. You're going to see some crazy-ass combos you would have never thought you'd see via rain popping in and putting your opponent in a ball for a split second. Your Sub-Zero goes from C tier to A tier by doing, one move in between. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know. We really don't know, but thankfully, I think the showcase come June 8th at Summer Game Fest will have a good idea what's to come. So this is everything off the top of the head, essentially. I've been meaning to sit down and give you my thoughts on it. Yeah, I'm a bit anxious about it, but at the same time, I'm pretty excited because potential, that word, potential. I think we have a lot of potential, and we'll see what happens. It could be the worst thing they ever do. We won't know until the game comes out. It could be the best thing they've ever done. And again, we won't know until the game comes out. So those are my thoughts on Cameo fighters. Obviously, in a perfect world, I would rather us go back to the MKX variation system where they give us the 3 variations. This is what you get. Learn the meta, learn the matchups, counterpick via character, not assist character. That's more familiar for me. This is going into the unknown for me. I never play games like Marvel vs. Capcom. I've not played one of those games in so long. So this is probably, like you, something I'm not used to. But I'm trying to be optimistic here. I'm looking at the glass. Half full, not half empty. We've asked for change for a long time, and they're giving it to us. So let's just go into this excited. Have your reservations, of course, but guys, I think it's going to be a good thing. Everybody clamored back during the MK11 days for tag team mode. We're finally getting it. This is as close to a tag team mode comeback as we're going to get anytime soon, probably. So can you really complain? You asked for it. You're getting it. So there you go, guys. What do you think of my thoughts about Cameo fighters? Are you pretty nervous to see maybe like 3 months post-launch, everybody's just using the same 2, 3, 4 cameo characters. I get it. I can definitely see that. But again, if you have enough variety on the main core roster, there's probably going to be counter picks to all these popular cameo fighters. And with them continuing to add DLC core characters and cameos, the meta is going to change back and forth every other month of DLC. They always support this game longer and longer and longer and longer. Who's to say that a character who's popular the first 2 months is even good on month 4, 5, 6, or 7 because more get added and make that character not as good? You feel me? So things are always subject to change. We'll see what happens. But anyways, thank you for listening to me ramble about cameo fighters. I love you guys. If you enjoyed the video, take a second, drop a like on it. Of course, subscribe for some more MK1 content like this on the channel. Till next time, been your host, been Dynasty. Guys, please take care, stay safe. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Yeah, 87 on the crack, but I'm not.